Hey there, Ethan here, welcome to Hello Road. So today we're gonna talk about things that you should not do. How not to buy a car, how not to handle a project, how not to save your hard-earned money. Now you may remember my video from 6 months ago when I bought this 1994 Lexus GS300. And you might be wondering, why haven't I made a video about this car since? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. As you might have guessed from the intro of this video, this is clearly not a story with a happy ending. "2020 was a rough year for so many people, but I decided to make it more rough on myself by buying a bunch of cars sight unseen at auction. This Lexus was one of them. I paid about $800 or $600, I don't remember, but I bought it sight unseen. Mistake number one. I'm a slow learner, and I guess maybe I'm just so very overly optimistic. I figured this purchase would be a relatively easy one. A few simple fixes, some cleanup, enjoy it for a few months, and then sell it to a Lexus fanatic. The story with this car is that it had sat for a few years. It was last registered in 2016. Red flag, but I figured it's built by Toyota. It can't be that bad, right? Right? Yeah, my yard is still filled with smoke. I'm gonna say it is that bad. It's definitely that bad. So the car was dropped off and it actually looked pretty good. The paint was in great shape. Many of these early Lexuses had great paint that lasted for ages. The interior even looked pretty nice, and the leather was in decent shape. But of course, the car wouldn't start. But that's not uncommon for a car that you just got from auction. A lot of these arrive with dead batteries, so I threw in a new battery, and that did nothing. Eventually did a compression test, all looked decent, maybe slightly low on one cylinder, but nothing to be alarmed about. Red flag. Okay, maybe it was a little bit lower than it should have been. I guess I'll just blame my damn optimism again. But I still couldn't get the thing to start. And I'm thinking, yeah, this has gotta be something simple, right? I wanted to do some of the work on this car myself, but unfortunately, I saddled myself with too many other projects. Mistake number two. Don't buy more projects when you already have too many projects. Somehow I never managed to learn this one. There's just too many cars out there that I want to save from the crusher. And yes, this car was likely headed for the scrap heap had I not purchased it. It just seemed too nice to get crushed. But as you'll find out, maybe it should have been crushed. Okay, so I brought this car to a shop that specializes only on Lexuses, and they got it to run, but they never got it to run right. They spent a ton of time trying to diagnose the thing and threw a ton of parts at it. Got a new intake boot, plugs and wires, even a brand new distributor. Oh, and a harmonic balancer too. It only ran with the timing way advanced, and it pinged like crazy. And it loved to stall. Looks like it's stalled again. Oh, it just stalled again. Yeah, there's no way this is making it home. Oh. Stalled again. It's squeaking and groaning and creaking. Oh, that does not sound good. And the shop eventually got to the point where they gave up. And that was $1,300. Yeah, things are going great so far. All right, now it's time for a little economics lesson. An economics lesson in a car video? Yeah, this is actually important. Let's talk about the sunk cost fallacy. It describes our tendency to follow through on an endeavor if we have already invested time, effort, or money into it, whether or not the current costs outweigh the benefits. An example would be, well, I've already sunk $1,300 into this probably unfixable Lexus. I might as well dump more money into this thing, otherwise that $1,300 wouldn't have been worth it. What I should have said is, crap, I just made a mistake. Time to admit that I just wasted $1,300 and I need to go push this car off a cliff. But what I did was proceed to bring the car to another shop and dump a ton more money into it. It's gotta be close to being fixed, right? Mistake number three. Mistake number three. So anyway, they found a whole lot more problems with this thing. The mass airflow sensor was bad, the ignition coil was bad, they removed all of the stale gas and swapped out the fuel filter and a whole bunch more stuff. And after all that, they did get it to run a little bit better. After a whole bunch of testing and diagnosis, they determined that the check engine light was on not because the air-fuel mixture was off or because there was a problem with the ignition, it was because the car had bad valve seals. So lots of oil was getting into the cylinders, causing it to run rough, getting the spark plugs all wet and causing the computer to get completely confused. And yes, if you let it sit for a while, it smokes like nothing I've ever seen. Eventually, it will burn off all of the oil, but I don't exactly want to pollute my neighborhood like that. So in total, it's taken over $2,000 to fix a bunch of things that were indeed bad, but never really got to the major problem, which is these bad valve seals. So yeah, this is going great so far. And if we look at the cost of doing valve seals on a 2JZ, maybe anywhere from $500 to $1,000, could be even more. And yes, there's a way you can do it without taking off the head, but maybe that's not exactly the right way to do it. So yeah, at this point, I'm not sure I want to spend $1,000 or more on what I've already burned on this car. And for what I've already spent, I should have just put a used motor in this thing. So this is a video telling you not to do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. Don't be an idiot. It's hard when you get emotionally wrapped up in a vehicle. For me, it was all about saving this thing. It just looks fantastic. It seems like it would have been the perfect car to fix up and feel good about keeping it from being junked, and eventually to sell it to someone that loved these things. But to be honest, most project cars are not worth it. I'm not saying they're not worth it from a satisfaction or an emotional standpoint. Many of them are. I'm saying they're not worth it from a dollar bill standpoint. You have to love the car and know that you may likely spend way more than the car is worth to keep it running. And for this particular car, I like it, but I don't love it. So I can't see myself dumping that much more money into this thing. I need to actually learn from my mistakes this time. And even though I've lost over $2,000 on the idea of saving this old Lexus from the crusher, I think it's time to move on. No, I'm not literally going to push this car off a cliff, though I really want to. I think what I'm gonna do is turn to you. What do you think I should do with this vehicle? I'm gonna present you with a few options, and you can let me know in the comments below how you would vote and what you think I should do with this car. Okay, choice number one. I've spent a ton of money already. Why don't I just spend a whole lot more money, get these valve seals fixed, and actually redo the head? Please don't choose this one. I really think I'm done with this car, so please don't choose this one. This is option number one. Don't choose this one. But maybe you could talk me into it. Option number two, it's too far gone. Literally push this car off a cliff or donate it to charity. Option number three, give the car to one of you viewers. Who wants a project? I put a bunch of money into it, still doesn't run right. You still want it? You still want it? Probably not, but if you do, choose this option. Option number four, just dump a new 2J in there, brah. Option number five, get rid of all of the gas-powered stuff and convert this car to an electric car. Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. I'd love to do that. I'd love to try to figure that out, but given my skill set, probably not gonna happen. But choose this one if you feel bad for all the smoke that I've been generating with this vehicle and you wanna help the environment a little bit. And option number six, part the thing out. That sounds so sad. I mean, it's actually really nice shape. So don't choose that option. Anyway, 6 options you can choose from to let me know what I should do with this vehicle. Yeah, don't choose the first one. I think I'm really done with this car. But you know what? I'll go with what you vote. If everybody says I should fix this thing, I'll try to fix it. I'll feel really sad while I'm doing it, but I'll do it. So ultimately, this was a huge loss no matter how you look at it. Generally due to my incompetence and lack of mechanical ability, but it was a huge loss nonetheless. No matter how you slice it, I probably shouldn't have bought this car. If you'd like to help me not go under financially, please consider buying a t-shirt. I've got a whole bunch of Hello Road t-shirts for sale in many different designs, many different sizes and shapes and colors, and buying one of those will help me keep the channel running and help me continue to be able to make videos. So your support is greatly appreciated. Or you can consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/HelloRoad. For as little as $2 a month, you can help support the channel, get early access to my videos, or even get your name on my car in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Please, for the love of God, do not do what I do. Please have some common sense. I'll work on adding that to my repertoire. Thanks so much. See you soon.
新たな伝説が始まる。未知なるドライビングフィール。新しい高級アリスト、ここに誕生。トヨタから。
Drive to work. Drink bad coffee. Sit in dull meeting. Sit in really dull meeting. Skip lunch. Handle new crisis. Postpone vacation plans. Drive home. Not a bad day.